the judiciary.
Stand by, gentlemen. And welcome back to Jeff Koinange live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski on this drizzly Wednesday night. I tell you, it's even chillier in the judiciary. Believe you me, it is chillier out there with the latest scandal. 200 million shillings allegedly given to Supreme Court Justice Philip Tunoy, allegedly by Governor Evans Kidero, to nullify the last election. A petition filed by Baba Yao. Baba Yao must be doing backflips wherever he is. In fact, he wants he wants the full CID report. Gentlemen, KK, Karanja Kabage is here, and Eric Mutua of the LSK. Baba Yao is celebrating. You know, probably very...
Well, realistically, even if the allegations were to be proved to be true, and you will have an opportunity to go back to court and say, look, this judgment is fraudulent, it was obtained through corrupt means, and I want it reversed. By the time he gets a decision in his favor, will be in 2017.
It'll be just in time for the next election.
Yes.
So Kidero will serve out his term, either way.
Most likely.
Isn't that
and in any event, you know, by the time we have the tribunal, the decision of the tribunal may be challenged. The judicial system sometimes is abused by people by filing all manner of applications to just try and stall or even challenge whatever decisions have been made. So I don't think you can celebrate now and comfortably say that it's going to be the governor in Nairobi. No. I mean, it's going to take a lot of time.
Do you agree, KK?
I totally agree with him, but let me also, for the sake of correcting the record.
Yes,
it was a 7-bench
judge bench.
So
okay, all right, okay. Other than Waitito, who's doing backflips as we speak, wherever he is, the opposition must be saying, "You see these people? You see this? You see this administration? They must be saying that." KK,
agreed.
Well, anything to score points obviously will be taken, and that's a fact. But I think the bigger challenge is we as a country should really do some soul searching and ask ourselves, how come we have reached the point where we have reached that there isn't any single institution, and especially the one we are talking about, that could sort of get the country to have confidence. And I think that's a very serious issue.
Okay, what does Mutunga do?
On opposition?
Yes.
Remember, at one point in the presidential election petition, after the results or after the judgment was delivered, there were allegations all over that this decision was influenced one way or another. Money may have exchanged hands. Well, those allegations. And in every petition that has gone to the Supreme Court, there has always been allegations from either the lawyers or from the parties involved saying that we think that there has been other consideration other than the law in determining their petition. When this allegation is proved to be right, then what the opposition will be saying is that what we said and what we were indicating is therefore correct.
They'll say tulibwa. Waliiba ile. That's what they'll say.
Yes, then it means that there are judges in the Supreme Court who are taking money, and then you can now rule out the fact that probably in the big one, which is the presidential petition, money may have exchanged hands.
Yes. KK, you said something earlier on. You said when Chief Justice Mutunga made a statement the other day saying lifestyle audit.
Yes.
For all Supreme Court judges and all judges in.
Yes.
Was that a profound statement?
I think for me, it probably was a defining moment in the tenure of service of the Chief Justice. If it can be achieved, why is that so? The reason is, at the moment, as my colleague here would say, there are a lot of allegations about corruption and bribery within the judiciary. And if this issue continues as it is, obviously as a country, we are at a major crossroad. And it is not good for the country, because judiciary is expected to be the arbiter of dispute But if you believe from day one that the men and women sitting in the judiciary cannot be trusted, then we have a very big problem.
Yeah, Eric, Nancy Baraza was hounded out of office, Deputy CJ then. Gladys Bosch-Cholet was hounded out of office. Shouldn't Justice Philip Tunoy, shouldn't he have stepped aside, if anything, with all these allegations being leveled on him? Shouldn't he have stepped aside?
The ideal situation, although these allegations have not been proved, but the ideal situation in any working democracy and in any country that believes in what is just and fair, I think for the sake of the Supreme Court itself and for the sake of the judiciary, it will be appropriate for the judge, at the very least, to say you can continue the investigations, but in the meantime, I'm not going to be sitting, I'm not going to be participating, I'm not going to perform the duties of a judge, I'm going to step aside.
Yeah.
That would be the ideal situation, so that we don't have effect on the entire Supreme Court, because by staying put, and these allegations are being discussed all over, there's investigations going on, I think in my view the ideal situation would be for him to say that well, let me step aside for the time being.
Yeah. Maybe they should all step aside.
Well, there will be no court.
But are there people who will replace them? Are they competent
There are very
justices?
There are very many lawyers. There are very many lawyers who can step into their shoes and perform probably even better.
And not take a 200 million shilling
No,
bribe?
I don't think they would do that. The other sad situation is that although you cannot say that corruption, you can excuse corruption, but if we are dealing with a magistrate or a judicial officer at the level of magistrate, then you will be comfortable that even if this decision is secured through corruption, you still have an opportunity to go to the High Court on appeal stage. If it were a judge, you still say, even if this decision was secured through corruption, then I still have an opportunity to go to the Court of Appeal. And even if the Court of Appeal delivers judgment in a corrupt manner or through corrupt influence, through corruption, then you can still say, I can still go to the Supreme Court. But here we're dealing with the Supreme Court, the apex. When they make determination, that becomes the law.
KK, students of law, students studying law right now, they look at what's happened, and maybe this is a one-off, but we don't know. It could be a lot uglier than we'd ever suspected. What are they thinking? Are they thinking, you know what, I'm going to become a justice so that I could steal some money?
Well, as of now, let me put it this way. This issue of lifestyle audit, which we didn't quite conclude, I would like to say that it's really important, although there is a judgment by one of the judges who serves in the Supreme Court, who made a determination that you cannot carry out a lifestyle audit. But I think, to me, it is very, very important, so that we are able to clean the judiciary.
Yeah.
That is very, very important. Now, as it is, with respect to students who are aspiring and looking forward to taking over, become a Justice Mutunga or Justice Smoking Wanjara or Justice Tunui, I think their aspirations are varied, because no nation anywhere in the world that can function without a justice system, and the foundation of a justice system is the student, the product of schools that end up being the judges of either as a magistrate, as judges of the High Court, judges of the Court of Appeal, justices of the Supreme Court, or judges who are appointed to tribunals. We've got very many tribunals. And there is also a lot of need for legal minds. And I'll tell you why. There are very many corporate bodies today who have got internal counsels who are providing legal services. There are very many international bodies that need legal minds. If, for example, you look at the gentleman who is heading the International Atomic Energy Agency in Akio Amayo, He's a Japanese, and he's a legal mind. And there are many others in positions of serving not only in the what you can call municipal jurisdictions, but also international jurisdictions. So from my perspective is that there will be a dent in the minds of some people that I'm studying law, but what is happening?
Absolutely.
What's
the end game?
But there is a lot of role that will be played, or being played by legally trained minds.
Eric, real quick before we go to break again. This guy Kiplagat, the man who allegedly met Kidero, the whole transaction. Obviously, he wouldn't have come out if he had been paid his part, his cut. Obviously, it's not rocket science. He didn't get his cut.
Of course, that is not even an assumption. He says that in the affidavit. He said certain conditions were to be met. These conditions were not met. A consequence of which now I want to become a whistleblower. So, by good luck for this country, if at all what he says is true, then at least we have a starting point where we have a situation where a person says, yes, I was involved in the bribery, yes, I played this role, and yes, I know this is what transpired. It doesn't matter to me that he was involved in the corruption transaction. What matters to me is what he says true, and what is the consequence of what he says if it is true. That is what matters. So
the lesson to be learned here is always pay everybody off.
No, that's a bad lesson. Well, some things happen because probably God doesn't want us to go into the next dispute, if at all, at the presidential
And there could be one. There could be one.
Yes, I mean, this is the opportunity. Probably, if that is proved to be right, this is the opportunity to clean up the Supreme Court.
Absolutely.
Yes,
gentlemen. Let's take a break. Come back and switch gears. Let's go to Eurobond. Let's see if we can tackle that in a few minutes, and also let's pay tribute to our soldiers. There's a memorial ceremony today. Earlier on, you saw that in Eldoret. Let's do that after the break. Keep tweeting. I'll read your tweets next break. At Karanja Kabage, at EK Mutua, at Koinange Jeff. The hashtag Politics 101. That's exactly what we're doing, even if it drizzles here at the Kempinski. Gentlemen, sorry about the rain.
No, it's okay.
Are you sure it's okay? Dry cleaning bills, just send them to Sam Chalet, okay? Yeah. Jeff Koinange live at the Villa Rosa Kempinski takes another break. We'll be back in a moment.